Good morning. Today is brought to you by the number 4. Today we have the transit of the 4th line into the 25th gate. 4th lines are fabulous. I have to say that I am a cheerleader for the 4th line. I have 11 of them and I'm a 4th line in my unconscious profile. So yeah, 4th lines rock as far as I'm concerned. The keynotes are friendship and opportunism, networking, and being very fixed. And there's the kindness, meanness aspect as well that can come in there. So today you can look for opportunities coming at you, and you can always check in with your strategy and authority, of course, before you leap into anything. And you may find that you want to be very sociable today because of that 4th line energy, or not. You may find that making new friends and then trying not to shag them straight away actually gets a little bit tiring. And so you get into that people fatigue. And you end up staying home alone instead, which may be safer for everyone. So 4th lines do like to be alone, and that is a really good antidote for them to all of that networking and all of that friendship and all of that side of things, and it's just a part of the nature. So it's a shorter transit watch today, just how it happens to be. So let's just crack on. Gate 25, the Gate of Innocence in line 4, which is called Survival. Okay, lifetime learning. The nature of true innocence can be maintained regardless of circumstances. 4th lines are fixed. They're meant to be fixed, but they are also meant to bend a little bit. They're not oaks in the forest. Ra said that they are not meant to break. There should be just that little bit of flexibility in there, but not too much. Because if they bend too much, they can break. And of course, that is disastrous. That's when they lose their innocence, and that's not correct. 4th lines can have a lot of influence. This is another one of their keynotes. And Ra says that there is truly nothing more profound than a 4th line being clear in the world. So when they break, it can be devastating for everybody. Both Venus and Jupiter are exalted, so we have 2 planets in the exaltation here, and there's no planet in detriment. So Venus represents our values. It's sort of like our personal values, if you like, and sometimes our tribal values and so on, but personal values particularly. And Jupiter represents the encoded laws of the land, the set in stone stuff. So having 2 of these themes present in this line is quite an interesting thing when we look at survival. Do we need these laws and values in order to survive correctly? And in order to do it without losing our innocence, without losing our wonder in the world? These are questions that we can play with today. 4th lines can be unstable. It's one of the most, I think he said the 3rd lines are quite unstable, but 4th lines are very unstable. Of all the lines, they're the most unstable. And this is where, in a way, the fixedness comes in, because it's what you call forgotten protection mechanism. That was what I was going to say. Yeah, it's still a 3rd line day when I'm recording this. So it's their protection mechanism, because 4th lines can be really vulnerable. This is something that they have no airbag, and they are out there in the world. They are just realizing that there is something out there to connect to. It's the first of the top trigram. It's that first line there. So, there is that putting themselves out there, being very friendly, but also, what's going to come back. And some people take that friendliness in the wrong way, or some people just don't want it at all. And when that's part of your nature, then it's a vulnerable place to be. And so this is where the fixedness and sometimes the meanness can come into the 4th line experience and an expression, really. And there can be a missionary quality. This is something else that is a keynote for the 4th lines. They can be very, because of the fixedness, they can spread the word, and they're stuck with that word, and they evangelize it, and they can have that missionary quality. And the line itself is called The Beauty of the Rose in the Garbage Dump. So these are the believers in innocence, and they believe in it so strongly, and it's such a fixed thing in them that when they break, if they break, it is so hard, so devastating. So no planet in detriment here. The 46 line 4 is called Impact. And this is a fourth line who is always trying to get people to see that they're in the right place at the right time, and they're externalizing serendipity. This is their thing, and they can be very fixed on doing whatever it is that's getting them out into the world and having people see that they are out in the world, and they don't know why they're doing it. They're just doing it because this is the nature of the line. And there is a kind of innocence here. So it's nice that this earth gate grounds the sun of innocence, because just doing what you're doing because it's just what you're doing it's really kind of sweet. And it's kind of, it's really almost quite gentle in its, well, depending on what you're doing, I suppose, but the energy around it, let's take the energy around it, is quite sweet, So he says that these people are having their experience and they're having their recognition and their success for it, and they're having an impact, but they don't know why. And so it's really important, as always with everything, that they enter into this experience correctly. 46, experiential, abstract way, enter the experience correctly through strategy and authority, which is what it always comes back to, really, isn't it? The detriment is in Pluto again, so we are not going to meet anybody who has this detriment, but it is about the fourth line who forgets the people that have helped them on the way, and this is a sort of the meanness side of it, all these people who helped them get to where they are, and then it's just like, okay. So today, maybe there could be some awareness in these fourth line qualities for you, and you may be able to find that you can maintain a sense of innocence in your life, regardless of what comes at you. You can appreciate your moments of serendipity, and the impact that you have when you're in the right place at the right time. This is something that you could play with. The moon, gate 4 at 9:13 GMT. This is youthful folly, and it's the energy to beguile and success despite ignorance. So freedom from retribution is the other thing. So this is the young and the foolish person who's just, who doesn't get punished for what they're doing because they're young and foolish. It's just their youthful folly. So that's, maybe you'll find yourself coming up with some funky answers to some of life's doubts and questions today. And maybe there'll be concepts that you come up with that have no validity at all, but it's fun and it still has to be tested because you don't know. There still could be a seed of the correct answer in whatever it is you come up with in your youthful folly. So this is logical, and it's the pattern here has to be verified, but we can still have fun with it. Well, it doesn't, sometimes it feels like it's the more serious side. It's the colder side because it goes through the splenic system and it's logical. And the other side is experience and it goes through the solar plexus and it's a lot of fun and, it's warmer and it's got all that emotion to it. But you can have fun as well, playing with the patterns and playing with the logic. And it doesn't have to be straight and, the sort of white coat on one side. And yeah, okay, I think you get that. I'll stop doing that analogy now. So while this transit is active, which, although it's a moon transit, it's pretty much all of our day here, there is a definition in this channel because it's hooking up with the 63, which is in Saturn. And so we're bringing here, you might find you have a constant mental pressure today to come up with logical answers to the doubts that are flying around. Venus also enters gate 63 today, so there may be doubts around the values that we hold, or maybe the value of doubt. I mean, this is another way of looking at it. Later on this evening at 8:33, the moon goes into gate 29. So again, we're going to have the channel because the Earth gate is in 46. So this gives us a channel between the G center and the sacral center. Okay, and it's called the channel of discovery. So this is at one end, the 29 here, we've looked at the 46 already, but it's the gate of perseverance. It's the gate of saying yes and commitment and that kind of thing. And it's meeting that gate of the determination of the self, giving it the power to really follow through on its commitments in order to have the correct direction and or find the correct love or whatever that is that's coming, expressing out through the G center there. But it's the power coming out of the sacral. You have to power from the sacral. So it's strategy and authority, are you committing to the correct things? Because this is about your life force energy, and you don't want to be throwing it away on things that are not correct. Whatever you discover is whatever you discover. But the experiences that one has, if one is correct, are going to be the ones that will lead you to discover things that are correct for you in your process. You will meet the right people on your journey who will also tap into that and make that a richer experience. Yeah, so always, yes, it always comes back, doesn't it, to strategy and authority. So that's it really for today. I don't have anything else to share with you. So just watch out what you're saying yes to, and have a great day. And I will see you again when we get into line 5. Thank you very much.